Good morning, and today should be a pretty exciting day because we have my brother who has crazy ideas with his third gen, as you guys can see from the thumbnail. And we have this mega cab behind me that needs to get finished. I know I have been kind of dragging on this truck, but after seeing the silver truck that we just finished up, all powder coated and complete, that gets me wanting to finish this one because looking at that raw metal on that lift is just not cutting it for me. So first thing we are going to do today is get this truck back on its own weight. You guys may be asking why it is all apart again. And we got the thing 100% done, but then we test drove it and we had one nasty vibration coming out of the drive shaft between the transfer case and that beautiful drop box right there. Originally, I built this truck not to have a drop box in it. We did not want to put that in it. We wanted to just clock the transfer case. That way we could still run the front drive shaft and the rear drive shaft. Everything was going smoothly until we lowered this truck on the ground and I realized it is a literal monster truck. There's 14s in the front and 12s in the rear on the coilovers, and that's what I had on my big white dually back in the day, but this has Ford axles on it, which means the coilover mounting points are way higher than the Dodge axles, and I don't know if it was just my miscalculation or just my thing for wanting to lift everything to the moon is kind of in my blood. I like lifting trucks to the point where they're drivable, but not practical. So, being that we had that vibration, I had to take the mount out of the cradle, take the cradle off the truck, cut it all apart, plate the inside of the cradle, and design a new mount that actually turns the transfer case a slight bit. That way it gets that angle perfect out of the back of the T-case, because on these Dodges, the transfer case isn't centered inside the frame. If you guys look back here, you can see what I'm talking about. It may look centered, but it's not. And in order for us to achieve the angle we want, we had to clock the transfer case a little bit. So that part is already designed and it is in the process of being cut. Then once that's done, we will weld that into the cradle, put the drop box back in, and cross our fingers, we should be ready to take this truck apart for a powder coat. I do still have to bend the drag link for it, but that's not too bad. That'll take us about 20-30 minutes to get the rest of the steering finished up. Then yeah, after that, this beautiful truck can come all apart, get powder coated, get painted, get the frame done, get the motor done, and we will have another huge monster truck inside the fleet. And then we also have some monstrous dually wheels up there. And just to say the least, they are 30s. And this thing is probably going on a 44. I want to do it like on a 58, but you know, I like driving my trucks now. And having my big truck on 53s, that drives perfect, but it's just not practical. So what I am going to do really quick is get this cradle and that cradle back on the frame, get the arms back on it, get it back down on its own weight. We have to take the drive shaft off of the rear because we don't have that plate cut for the cradle yet to mount the drop box into it. So I want to be able to push this truck out of the shop until that gets cut. And then after that's complete, we're going to get on my brother's third gen because he has the craziest ideas. And I'm not going to say no, you know, whether it's dumb or not. I'm going to say, yeah, let's make the thing party. So let's get this installed on the truck. Then we'll move over to getting the stuff done on the third gen that you guys seen inside the thumbnail. Okay, as you guys just seen, we got the mega cab back on the ground and it looks a lot smaller now versus 10 feet higher on the stands. So we threw the old drag link back on it for now because I want to be able to drive it to get the steering wheel perfectly straight. That is the drag link off of my big truck that I took off of there because I did a different drag link setup on that truck, blah, blah, blah. The cradle obviously has no drop box inside of it. As you guys can probably see down there, it's bare now. There's nothing inside of it. So now all we have to do on this truck is wait for that plate to be cut. We'll weld it back in, throw the drive shafts back in, go spin the block, and crossing our fingers, hopefully it's all perfect and this truck can go off to powder coat. One more thing I noticed that I do have to order for it though and build is a little bracket to go in right here and then get a shock that goes from here to here That'll look a lot better having that void filled, because on the Dodges, well, on the 13 and newer frames, you got the coil spring and the shock right here. Versus on the older frames, you have the coil spring and the shocks in the middle. So I'll design that bracket really quick when the time comes to get the drag link and this thing all wrapped up. But we now have my brother's third gen inside the shop, and he's got this bright idea to make it like high horsepower, but without the bottom end being built. So basically, we're just gonna lock the head down onto it. We're going to put a turbo on it, injectors, blah, blah, blah. But there is one thing that you have to do, and in my opinion, it's the first step, because if you smack a turbo and injectors and a bunch of fuel to this truck with the stock head bolts, 9 times out of 10, you just blow the head off the truck. From my experience, I've done it. Decided to tune my truck to the moon, put big injectors in it, and just make it a monster, and then it blew up. And we don't want to blow this one up, but I guess we'll put all the power we can to it just without doing the bottom end. And then when the bottom end does give out of it, I guess we'll build the whole motor. But for now, we have a head stud kit from SPE. So what head studs are is a stud and a nut instead of the factory bolt. So right here we have directions. There's the torque sequence on them. We are going to be single studding this truck. So what that means is we'll start off at number 1 right there, that head bolt. Take that one out, put a stud down inside of there, put the nut on it, which are right here, torque that down, then go to the second one, and basically do that about, 25, 26 times, and then the truck will be head studded. So we got all these studs here, all 26 of them, the socket for the nuts, a bunch of grease or oil or lube, whatever this may be, for the actual threads themselves, the Allen key to tighten up the stud into the block. And yeah, so we're gonna pop this hood really quick, grab our fancy Harbor Freight light. Believe it or not, guys, this light is a lifesaver, because you can just light up whatever you want very easily. Ta-da! Now you guys can see the motor. We do need to wipe this motor off because it is a little dirty, so we'll do that when it's all done. But first things first, we have to get the crankcase filter off of it, get the valve cover off of it, and then, yeah, it's pretty much just start taking one out by one and getting this thing studded. So we just got all the head studs on the truck, torqued down, everything's good. My brother actually just went and picked up a lower valve cover gasket and upper valve cover gasket. We figured since we're already in this far, might as well replace the gasket, because it does have a slow oil leak, and I can see that all the injector lines are oily, and you know they shouldn't be oily. So he's going to clean all of that up, get the new gaskets put on, and then we'll be able to start this truck up for the first time with the new head studs. And he is one step closer to having his dream of a big turboed, big fuel, 3rd gen common rail Cummins. How long it's going to last, I don't know, but I do know that that head is tight to the block. These head studs are made out of a high strength alloy steel. Has a rating over like 220,000 PSI. They're all black oxide coating. It has a precise like temperature coating I was reading on them for the heat and to withstand the stuff from this motor, blah, blah, blah. And in my opinion, these head studs went in very, very easily. I have single studded motors before, and this kit was the easiest to do. They give you the exact torque spec included with it and the pattern to torque the motor. I know some guys do the head studs when they build the motor, but for us, single studding it will work just fine. If you guys are wondering, I have done this a bunch of times. I know everyone has their preferences, take the head off, get everything redone, but my brother just wanted to get it studded so he can do a big turbo and big injectors and just try to make his motor last a little bit longer, because I do know with big turbo injectors on stock head bolts, from my experience, I still have lifted the head. And that is the last thing I think he wants to do. But he has to get all this put back together when he gets back with those gaskets, and then we'll fire this thing up. And like I was saying, he is one step closer to getting this truck done. Third gen is now head studded, which means, like I probably said 4 times now, he is on his road to getting this thing to have some more horsepower, because, you know, we have the cabin chassis now, we have my mega cab to haul. This truck hauls great, but we have 2 other trucks that can still haul. So why not make this one fast and smoky, right? So I guess give her first start. So, obviously, after head studs, you have to do other mods. So now we're trying to decide what we want to do exactly with this turbo setup and this fuel setup. Me personally, I am not really too smart, I would say, when it comes to like the correct ratios and stuff. In my head, it's just slap on a massive turbo, 500% over injectors, and make this thing an absolute piss missile. So, drop a comment below on what would be a good setup to achieve like 800 to 1200 horsepower on a stock bottom end. I know it doesn't sound logical, but we just want to party with this truck. And obviously we need to get that manifold out of there, get that turbo out of there, change out the intake horn on it, needs injectors, needs new CP3 pump. I think these are CP3s on here. CP3, CP4 pump on it. And yeah, we just want to make it rowdy, because like I was saying, we have my beautiful cabin chassis over there that is now the new tow rig for now, until the mega cab's back from, it's like across the country right now. And yeah, and I think we'll obviously do traction bars on it. We do have a whole entire lift kit for this truck, but my brother's kind of slacking on that, and he just wants to have it fast now. But I said make it big and fast, and he was like, it's already big, it can be fast. But I'm like, it could be bigger. So over here we have a mini cradle setup for that truck, and then in that crate on the back of the welding table is all the brackets to do coilovers on the front, and then we have tubing over there, Heims over there, and we have everything to make this thing big. It already has the rear traction bar mounts welded onto the axle back here. It's like literally that's already on the axle. The rear axle is basically done, just needs new blocks, new U-bolts, and new shocks, and then the rear's lifted, and then everything up front's bolt on. And yeah, so drop a comment. Let me know what you guys think on this truck. I do see a lot of comments about the products that we build, and by we, I mean my brother. So I design them, he builds them, and then we ship them out, and they're on to their customer. And yeah, so right here we have a 2nd gen lift kit. This is one of the 2 traction bars for a 6.0 Ford, I believe. That's the front axle truss for that axle for a 2nd gen. Mirror finish overlays, and yeah, so I will be dropping a link soon on a complete website to buy these products that you guys see all over my channel. And you know, everyone should just make their truck a monster truck, because why not have a massive truck? Like, let's be real, that's boring. Like, look at that 3rd gen, you're like, bro, what is that? Like, and Brandon's thoughts are to lift it huge, but like, I'm trying to be like the mature old man and just have a truck that you get in and drive, and you know, it looks halfway decent, minus it has some rust, but we have this beautiful cab to make that one rust free. So eventually we'll get to this. There is a video coming up on this. With that being said, that is going to end today's video. Like I was saying, drop a comment on what setup we should do on this. I want at least 800 horsepower, but be able to go to 1200 horsepower and then blow the bottom end. 800 reliable, 1200 if we want to blow it up. Yeah, tell your mom, your sister, your grandpa, your stepmom that I uploaded, and I'll see you guys in the next one.